Heat embossing is a technique that is easy to learn, takes a little bit of time to master, but is guaranteed to always get a wow when you do it on a project. In this technique video, we'll tackle all the basics and you'll be ready to go with heat embossing in no time. Every technique video is narrated live while I'm doing the technique, so you're getting a real-time view of how the whole process works. Pull out the supplies I'm using today and join along. You can create right along with me, pausing when you need. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. For a beginner stamper moving into heat embossing, you're going to need to expand your kit and add a few new products. So the first thing you're going to want is a Versamark watermark stamp pad as well as the refill. Using a Versamark pad is going to give you the best results as a beginner, but you're going to also want to make sure that it's always inked up really well. So get yourself the refill while you're getting your pad. You're also going to want some embossing powder. There are many brands on the market, and I encourage you to explore all the different varieties that are out there and find ones that you like. Some of the colors that you will use often, you might want to get in a larger package just because it might be a little more cost effective to do that. So I have my bright white here in a larger package, and I also prefer the super fine variety of embossing powder because I think it gets me a more detailed image. You're also going to want a few little brushes, and I will show you what we're going to use these for later. I also have here a brush and some baby powder or cornstarch. This is what I'm going to use for an anti-static powder. This again comes in a lot of different form factors. You can get a little pouch, you can get a little container that dispenses this as you brush. I find this to be the best method. I can go ahead and buy cornstarch or baby powder, and I have a brush and I can add as much or as little powder as I need to make sure that I really get a good anti-static platform for my ink. And then, of course, the last thing you're going to need is a heat tool. Again, there are a lot of different varieties on the market. Make sure that you get a heat tool that is designed for heating paper. There are industrial and woodworking heat guns that are much hotter, and you don't want them to be so hot that it's going to scorch your paper instantly. This particular one that I have has a high and low setting, and the low setting comes in handy for embossing on different mediums like plastics and vellums. For my first example, I'm going to do a sentiment using white embossing powder on black cardstock. This is a gorgeous look and something that is very classic. So I'm going to start with my anti-static powder, and I am going to put quite a bit on this black cardstock. You can see, I mean, I really almost made it gray. So then I can tap off the excess. And this is what I'm going to stamp on. The nice thing about adding this much anti-static powder is that when you stamp, you're going to see that your image has come through very nice. So this is the Versamark stamp pad, and you can feel it being a little sticky, and even when you put your hand in it, you can tell that it has a little bit of tack to it. So this is a pigment ink, and it's designed to be sticky like this, so that way when you stamp, your embossing powder is going to stick to it. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp my image. And when you're working with sentiments, especially ones that have thin letters, it's really good to make sure that you don't rock back and forth and that you get good coverage with your ink the first time around. All right, so again, like I said, when I get enough anti-static powder on here, this helps me to know that I've got a really good impression that I've stamped on here. Okay, so this kind of serves two purposes. One, I've got really good anti-static properties around this image, and I can really tell that I've stamped well. Okay, so I'm going to take my embossing powder, and this is just a coffee filter. You can use this over and over again. And I'm going to just tap some on here. You don't need a whole lot, so I usually just tap on one end like this. And then I lift up my card, and I'm going to just gently tap it across those letters. So now that they've all completely covered, I can gently tap, flip it over, and just do a little dance across the back there. All right, if you've used enough anti-static powder, that's about all you should need to do. Now, if you happen to see any little strays, there's a couple of things you can try. One, just flick the back, and sometimes that will loosen them up, but you can see I lost a little bit of my embossing powder there. So I'm going to have to go over this just again to fill in those spaces. Now, if I see any of those little spots, this is when I'm going to take that small paintbrush and I'm just going to grab them. There should be very few, if any at all. And if this is something that doesn't bother you, then don't bother with the paintbrush. It's all up to you. Okay, so this is ready to be heated. And before I do that, though, I want to get this loose powder back into the container. So I just fold up my filter here like a taco and just pour it right back into the container. And then close the container so that the hot air from my heat tool doesn't blow anything away. All right, so now I'm ready to heat this. There's two ways that you can heat. You can heat from the underside, or you can heat from the top. If your ink is juicy enough, you should have no problems heating from the top. If you haven't had a juicy enough pad and the powder is just kind of sitting on the ink and maybe not stuck completely, you might blow some of that off, so you would want to go from the underside. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You're going to end up with the same results. So I start off by turning on my heat tool and I make sure that it gets hot before I put it over my paper. Now, when I'm doing my heating, I'm going to hold it in place until the powder starts to melt. There's no need to keep moving it around continuously. Just keep it in place until the powder starts to melt and then move it slowly across and you'll watch the powder melt magically. I didn't even have to speed up the time on that. That's exactly how long it took to heat emboss this. So now that it has cooled down a little bit, you can touch it and you can feel that it's nice and glossy. Everything has heated up, but I've got all of this excess powder. To return my black cardstock back to black, I'm going to take a very lightly dampened towel, and it is like barely even wet. And I'm just going to swipe it across. And I'll give that a second to dry. And once it's dry, it's going to be completely black. And that's going to look absolutely gorgeous. Of course, one of the reasons that we get attracted to heat embossing to begin with is the look of metallics. So let's do some copper for an alternate look. I've got, again, my Versamark, and I have this cool dotted edge pattern. So I'm going to ink up my embossing ink, and I can't forget to use my anti-static powder. Especially with a detailed image like this, we want to make sure that the powder is only going to stick where we want it to. So I've already inked this up and it sat for a second. It's actually still sticky enough that I can go ahead and just stamp it down. There we go. My image is complete. And just like before, we're going to do the same thing. So this is a copper embossing powder. And I'll start from the top here and pour some powder. And then again, I like to just tap it down the edge. And I get a beautiful look. Now I notice that white embossing powder can be very finicky. It likes to stick to paper even if you use anti-static powder. Metallic powders tend to work very well with anti-static powder, and they only stick where they're supposed to. So I didn't have to do anything special this time to make the powder stick or to work away any errant bits. This looks just perfect for embossing. So let's heat it up. There we go. It takes just a few seconds to get that completely heated. You don't want to overheat this because the powder can melt into the paper and result in a look that perhaps you don't want. But now that this is done, it's a beautiful coppery dotted line. And again, I'll just take my damp cloth and wipe off the powder. And we've got a beautiful result. I hope you enjoyed this technique and you add it into your toolbox sometime soon. When you give it a try, share it out on Instagram and tag me at Nicole Watt Creates. I always love to see what your creative mind is thinking. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And until next time, happy crafting.